All right. All right, citizens participation. We haven't had anyone here in several months, so this is so exciting to see folks here. So bear with me while I read our instructions. Lexington County School District 1's Board of Trustees solicits the advice and counsel of its citizens. To encourage this participation, the board provides a citizens participation period during each of its regular monthly board meetings. In order to speak, you must be the parent or legal guardian of a student currently attending a Lexington District 1 school, a taxpayer residing in the Lexington District 1 attendance area, an employee of the district, or a student currently attending a Lexington District 1 school. You may comment on agenda items, school operations, policies, programs, or other matters. You may not speak about specific individuals, whether students or staff. We want to remind you that this meeting is being live streamed and that the recording of this meeting will be part of the public record in perpetuity. We want to give everyone who came tonight an opportunity to speak, and in order to do that, I will call on each speaker by name and ask you to approach the lectern at the back of the room. The board will not reply to your remarks nor take any action during the board meeting in response to your comments or questions. You may address the board for up to 3 minutes. Please do not clap or make any comments either while an individual speaks or after he or she finishes. As you came in tonight, you received a card to fill out indicating that you wanted to speak. The card asks for your name, address, and other information. I will only read out your name, the town you reside in, and the name of the schools your children attend when it is your turn to speak. If you did not fill out a card but wish to speak, please hold up your hand and someone will hand you a card. Did everyone that wants to speak fill out a card? All right. If anyone that is uncomfortable addressing the board in person may reach out to us by email, telephone, mail. Our contact information is on the district website, and we are welcome your contacts. We love to hear from anybody and everybody. All right. We are going to start with, is it Rebecca Ryder? And she wants to speak about the recycling program at MGMS. She lives in West Columbia. And, all right, Ms. Ryder.
I'm Rebecca Ryder. I'm a 7th grade teacher at Meadow Glen Middle School. Our students would really just like to help be able to get a recycling contract. So my big question to take away today is, what can we do? What can Meadow Glen 7th grade students at Meadow Glen do? Is there a specific reason that our district isn't recycling? I've heard budget, and what can our 7th grade students do to kind of help with that? Our 7th grade students, they conducted research in their math classes, and we found that on average, each student is throwing away 2 pieces of recyclable plastic every single day. So that's about 400 pieces of plastic that's being thrown into the trash instead of being recycled, and that didn't include, as a math teacher, all of the papers that could be getting recycled. So the big question was, how much of that plastic is being put into the ocean? We are pushing our students to think about what can they do about the plastic problem, the plastic pollution problem. So we would just love your help in answering, helping our students figure out what they can do as well.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Ryder. Appreciate that. I'm going to give this to Dr. Little, and we'll be in touch with you. Thank you very much. And thank you for helping our students understand their impact on the environment. All right, next we have Jeff Eichhorn. Did I get your name right? Close enough, thank you. He lives on Bar Road. His students attend River Bluff, and he wants to talk about the return to in-person high school. All right.
Hello, as you mentioned, I'm the parent of a couple of high school age students in the district. I have some questions and comments on the district's response to COVID-19. First is communication. On your website, you're committed to open communication, but it has been since November that we've heard anything from this board or the superintendent about our response to COVID-19, what we're doing. Lots has changed, a lot of research has come out, and we've heard nothing from this group or the superintendent about how our plans are going to change. 3 days a week, our high school students across the district do not receive any instruction whatsoever. They've divided the students into 2 cohorts, as you know, and if you're in cohort A, many weeks you receive 1 day of instructions due to holidays like Martin Luther King, President's Day, etc. So several weeks during the semester, half the cohort, half the students receive no education. they receive 1 day of education per week. There's no live instruction and no attendance requirements 3 days a week for our high school age students. There's no accountability for them to be doing anything during those 3 days a week. In short, they're not being educated 3 days a week. No other district follows this plan of action, not in the state, maybe not even in the country. Why Lexington 1 do we follow that plan? What's different about Lexington 1 than other districts in the state? Why, on the 3 days a week when they receive no instruction and no accountability for showing up with all the investments we've made in technology, MacBooks, not cheap Chromebooks, MacBooks we bought for every single high school student in this district. Why can't we utilize the technology we spent huge sums of money investing in to deliver virtual education every day those students aren't in school? Fridays, they have absolutely nothing. So at a minimum, we should be doing something differently on Friday. It's also an impossible situation for teachers. How, when they're repeating the lessons they delivered on Monday and Tuesday, on Wednesday and Thursday to the other half of the students, are they able to provide any instruction or any support to the students in the opposite cohort who are home and possibly trying to do some work for school? They can't. They can't be in two places at once. You're setting up your teachers for failure and you're setting up our students for failure. And why are we not celebrating and replicating the success of Charleston County School District, the second largest school district in the state? MUSC has been doing research on them since September when they returned to 5 days a week face-to-face instruction. There has been no documented case, according to MUSC's research, of child-to-teacher transmission in that district, the second largest district in the state, and minimal transmission between other students. MUSC concludes in their study that children are safer in school than they are in communities, even those communities with high rates of community spread. So I ask in conclusion, our high school students are struggling academically and emotionally. What are we doing to address those concerns? Your failure to address those concerns, the negative outcomes that result from those academic and emotional struggles, are your responsibility. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. Next we have Debbie Hine. Is that correct? All right.
I'm going to bring it close. I want to be heard. I'm going to piggyback on what Jeff Eichhorn just spoke about. Thank you. Does this work okay? Does this pick up okay on recording? Yep. Fabulous. First, it is good to see the board in action. It's good to see your picture to a real body. It's important that we're here face to face, like we want our children to be in school. I'm the parent of high school students in this district. Very good students. It pains me as a mother, it pains me to see what this board has put them through. All of you have a responsibility to the students first and foremost. And that responsibility has been neglected, particularly amongst our most vulnerable group, our high school students. I also want to mention that for last semester, none of the students' final exams counted toward their grade if they were going to lower their grade. They were only going to count toward the student's grade for the entire semester if their final grade helped boost their grade, because we have issues with grades, apparently. They're slipping big time. We're not even holding our children to account for the material that they are barely learning. I had students have to take AP exams at my house last year. There was nobody there to help them when there was an issue. Because as a good parent, I walked completely out of the room so there could be no issue of them not doing it 100% on their own. That Medical University of South Carolina study that Mr. Eichhorn just referred to, I emailed that to Dr. Greg Little this afternoon. I will email it to every board member as soon as I am home tonight. It absolutely showed that Charleston County schools are open in person 5 days a week very, very safely. And I want to clarify, when you read that article, it's not student-to-student transmission. It is Not a single case of student to teacher transmission. Very, very low teacher to teacher and very, very low teacher to student, including in their high schools. Okay, this is done through the Medical University of South Carolina here. They have been tracking and tracing this. They were shocked and surprised. But guess what? The information is out. It's out there. From September 8th, I believe, when they started their semester, until they broke for the winter holiday. Everything that they are doing in their school district, we are already doing in ours. There is no reason why we cannot very quickly implement this in our schools. This is the most pressing need to our most vulnerable population of students. This is the most important issue right now. The most important issue to our high school students is being in school 5 days a week, learning and being as normal as they can be. It has been a year. We are all here for our students, and I look forward to hearing back from this board on how they will implement 5-day-a-week in-person learning very, very soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, Matthew Hine wants to talk about opening schools.
Sure. So I wasn't planning on speaking, so you get Jack Kerouac style stream of consciousness here, but I've got high school kids too, and it's devastating when I have a good student who's on the wrestling team tell me that school feels like a prison. I've sat in those classrooms. They literally have a plexiglass cage around them. I have students who eat lunch in these classrooms, okay? And they don't want certain foods packed in their lunch because they're embarrassed to chew chips in class, okay? I've had some chances to interact with some of the kids as a coach there, as a volunteer coach. And the brightest part of their day is after school when they can run around in masks at first and then later wrestle. Okay, it's heartbreaking. Like, these are good kids. Okay, I'm an idealist. Okay, I studied philosophy in school. And the whole purpose of this board is to speak for us. Okay, the reason that we're here is because we feel like we're not being heard. Okay, this is absolutely devastating. Okay, I worry about my son's mental health. I literally have to look him in the eye and talk to him. Are you doing okay? Is this working out for you? It's not right. You cannot put kids through this at this age. Okay, we're imploring you, we are begging you, we are asking you to please act. We can't. We have no power. We delegated all of our power to you. You have the power to do something. Okay, please. Do it. It's your responsibility. This is a lost generation. In fact, I talked to a parent today who works for a boss who's got a very good baseball player. His son is a senior this year. He's not even being recruited anymore because all of the college kids last year, they have an extra year. Colleges aren't even interested in athletes right now. It's ridiculous. This has to change. This entire generation right now is never going to forget this, okay? And it needs to get fixed. It's just disappointing, okay? Please, do something. We can't. We just had elections. We just put you all back up here, okay? Please, it's all I can ask. If you don't, nobody else will. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, Allison Chavis? Aaron Chavis? I'm sorry, Aaron Chavis? Yes, you don't look like an Allison. Thank you, Aaron. Mr. Chavis has students at Gilbert High School.
As well, I didn't prepare anything. I want to piggyback on what they said as well from both my daughters. I think need to be back in public school. We've taken away so much. Can't get sidetracked with it. We've taken so much from our kids. I mean, what I grew up with, my memories of high school, they are losing into something that's no more than a cold virus. I've looked at the numbers myself, and I'm sick and tired of watching everybody be scared. For over a year, we've been wearing masks, and everybody's tried to do what they can, but the numbers still climbed right up until the day of the election, and they started coming down. We've got to change what we're doing for these kids to save what little bit of memories they're going to have to enjoy with their friends and what we had as kids. I wasn't even going to talk about this. My wife and I have started noticing some changes in Gilbert's mascot, logos, and different things being used in Gilbert. And I know the climate nowadays across the country, with the Atlanta Braves, the Redskins, people changing mascots, our emblems, stuff on uniforms. I just want a little bit of changes here and there, everywhere. I just want to save our Indian at Gilbert High School. I understand there's a political climate to change stuff, but this isn't derogatory. We've been told it's not going to change. Every year, something a little bit here and there has changed or taken away. We just want to make sure it's kind of pale in comparison to everybody else that come before me. But we have over 1,000 signatures on my wife has put together a petition to try to save our Indian. A lot of people who aren't from here may be on this board. It means a lot to us. Small towns, small values, we want to keep it. We want to keep our kids in school, and we want to leave our mascot and our Indian at Gilbert, please. Just making sure that everybody knows that we do pay attention. I've been asleep for a long time. After I graduated, I have kids now, and me and my wife and other people are awake. We just want to make sure that we pay taxes as well, and we just want to have our voice heard too. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chavis. Is that everyone that wanted to speak? All right, thank you so much for coming tonight. All right, we are moving on to agenda item 9.0, which is action items, and we are talking about the second reading of the 2021-2022 academic calendar. If you would like to leave, you are welcome to at this time. If you want to stay, we would love to have you stay, but I'm giving you permission to leave if you want to, with no judgment. Thank you so much for coming tonight. Come back next month. We'll save you a seat.